part of the focus of 15 and is not only helping leaders learn the process that they're cooperating with to lead from a secure identity with a clear mission as they build healthy community. It's also how, at an introductory level, we would say to keep coming back to the vision of leading for impact, not validation. Most leaders are leading for validation, not impact. And so the leadership world is full of gimmicky seminars and hype retreats, and they don't produce lasting transformation. So there is a formula for impact. We teach this formula in all of our work with companies at SiteShift, but I don't connect the dots there like I'm about to do for you. To lead for impact as a formula comes from Micah. You know the verse in chapter 6. He has shown you what is good and what the Lord requires of you, to act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. This is the lead for impact formula. Impact equals action plus motive. Impact equals right action plus right motive. So impact is to act justly. When I'm a leader and I'm leading for impact, not validation, I don't just put the values in the culture that are coming out of my insecurities. So I over and undervalue certain things. I bring justice, which is a balance of values. So what we do with leaders, and we measure this in our IFQ report, and if you connect with us through 15 and, we'll make ways available for you to get access to this information and test yourself, measure yourself. But what happens when I'm a leader with awareness, I don't over and undervalue certain things out of my insecurities. And so instead I get to lead for impact. I build an atmosphere, environment, culture of justice. I act justly. And if I act justly, what's that built on? Loving mercy and walking humbly with God. Now, to act justly and to live with this kind of approach or process is completely different than the shallow place that leadership stops in so many other conversations. So many people out there right now are saying mindfulness is everything. No, mindfulness is a starting point, not an end point. That's why monks don't build great teams and families. They get emptied, but they don't know how to get filled. I get emptied so I can get filled with the Spirit. Out of my insecurities, with awareness, I can then build environments that are justice-based. That is impact. Impact equals acting justly, loving mercy. That's the starting point. That's the first blank in the addition symbol there. Impact equals blank, loving mercy. We'll call this right action. Here's what's so whack to me right now about business leadership environments. They've defined empathy as the end point. You can have somebody who's a psychotic leader who knows how to be empathetic. Look, when I've been through my hardest times, I don't want somebody to feel sympathy. I feel bad for you, Chris. I don't want them to feel empathy. I feel bad with you. I know what it's like to not have grocery money. I want them to have mercy. I want them to end my suffering and say, here's $100, go get food. My life has been changed by friends like that. It's our role, our job as leaders to take right action. We don't just bring sympathy. We don't bring empathy. We bring mercy. We end suffering. That's the nature of business and leadership. We're providing solutions. So impact equals right action, loving mercy. Man, I love mercy. And I walk humbly with God, the best I can, not perfect. This is my motive, right motive. So impact equals right action plus right motive. Act justly, love mercy, walk humbly with your God. What's happened now in leadership environments is we've defined growth or great cultures as psychological safety. And so we've created environments where you can actually not advance and grow, and we should still be supportive of you. So this doesn't occur in nature. Like in nature, there's no middle period of adolescence. You either learn to take flight or you don't. Now, clearly something changes in the human brain, and there's a time period, it's awash in chemicals and hormones, lots happen. But since we've introduced adolescence to the human race for the last 120 years, it's only gotten worse the longer we make adolescence for the mental health of those who are in that age range. And here's why, and here's what's happening. They're not learning in the midst of their challenges how to be centered. And so we now lift up a victim mindset. Leaders who lead for impact, not validation, know there has to be a strong center, a secure source that you can draw on. because psychological safety doesn't mean it doesn't matter how I perform. Psychological safety means there's always approval of my personhood with God, even as my performance continues to change and improve. We're going to mess up in our performance. God doesn't have to lower the standard of what is expected because there's complete acceptance of our personhood, as we know through the story of Jesus. So for me, what we're doing, I thought would be helpful for me to share with you and ask you, have you appreciated, lived out, and learned to center around the Sight Shift Impact formula? Act justly. This is impact equals loving mercy, right action, plus walking humbly with God, right motive. I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this with God for you. Hope this encourages you in your leadership journey. Peace.